Hey, people. Hey, Erica. I'm so excited to have you here.
Me too.
Erica, bookwoman. We have so much goodness to talk about. How's Philadelphia?
Philly's, it's wonderful. The weather is perfect right now. And I'm just like, I'm not looking forward to the humidity. So this is like my time right here, the spring.
Fantastic. I know, I love it. Okay, so please type in the chat. Type in the chat where you are, just to get the wheels rolling, and also I get to see who's here. I'm gonna
Ohio, I'm from Ohio.
Oh, you're from Ohio.
Mhm.
When? From the Netherlands in Ellie, North Carolina. So we're going to do a whole bunch of good things today. First of all, we are going to talk all about picture books. That's why I've invited Erica here. I represent her. I'll introduce her formally in a minute. She's a picture book illustrator and author, among other illustration gigs. I'm going to pop up a volunteer for a career tarot. We are going to do a magic card exercise that you get in the class, similar to, and to help you understand plotting out your story, character development. It's very fun. You'll respond in the chat and we'll play. And then I'm going to give away a course at the end, a free course to anybody. So let's see. The main goal of this is, I believe in my people, my students, my followers, the creative community, that you are all capable of writing a picture book that is meaningful, reflects you, your interests, your needs, and we do work on those things in the course. The course comes with, I just looked at this today. This is 123 pages. Like, I'm insane. Like, I wrote this thing. And this comes bit by bit. You get a little bit Monday with exercises and Wednesday with exercises. We'll talk about that in a minute. I'm going to show you some books. The course starts Monday. It starts Monday. So this Monday. So do sign up right away. Jenny or Becky, are you? Oh, Becky's here. Good. Hey, British Jenny, our writer of the newsletters and social media, and Becky McCarthy does runs the show behind the scenes, and I'm indebted to them. Do they get anything if they sign up now? Is there anything they can work on right away? Maybe. That's always fun to dive right in. It's a great thing to do this spring. So the class starts Monday. It's 4 weeks. And unlike some other courses, when I bop in once a week, this one I bop in twice a week for live videos where I go over the material. And then on Wednesdays, I do a review of the best work and 5 random pieces of the assignments that I pick randomly. So everyone gets a shot at review. It's a good system. Let's see, the sessions are recorded. You don't have to worry about that. And they're at noon Eastern, Monday and Wednesday. And then back by popular demand is breakout rooms on Fridays where you get to hang with 2 other students and share. And it's like a highlight. And I don't interfere. It's just you and the kids, your fellows together. And every Wednesday, top art director Zoe Tucker joins me in the review, looks at all the work in the gallery as well. And she has assigned people to do picture books from class. Absolutely. And I've taken on students from class to represent, as I did with Erica, because her work was so incredible. Let's see, all the details. I'm going to just show you where you can find all the details, so I don't have to go into all that with you. So you're going to go to courses, you're going to go to my kid book pitch, you are going to see all the goodness, the schedule, content, student reviews, testimonials, and so forth. And here's the schedule for each week. So it shows you everything and how chock full, plenty of goodness. So you have all that on here. Okay. This is for all levels. You do not need to be a writer. You do not need to be an illustrator. Okay. And I want, yeah, we will pop up a poll in a second. Let's see, for all levels, weekly assignments. Zoe Tucker, Riley Wilkinson, who so many of you know and love, is a toy agent, toy creator, and he's a guest in the final week to review the work along with Zoe and me as well. One cool new feature I've started to do is that I will pick a favorite submission from the gallery and review all 3 assignments from that student one-on-one. So that's a great opportunity to really get that intensive one-on-one. Okay, you can read all about the testimonials in class if you don't know anything about me and so forth. And now we're going to pop up the poll. So Kim, if you want to pop that up so we can all, here we go. So glad so many people are here. I thought you'd all be, it's Memorial Weekend in the US. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to interview Erica. I'm really, really, really excited. That's why I was so happy when she agreed to do this. Okay, hello Zoe and Tracy and Heather and Mary. So if you can't find the poll, press your escape button on your keyboard and it's probably behind your screen. I'm asking this because I want to get a sense of where you're at with the story idea. And I can see the results coming in. You're primarily illustrators by far. Some of you are published. Okay. We have a lot of you already signed up and a lot of you thinking about it. A lot of you are in my year of art school. A handful of you have never taken a maths course before. I say welcome. And some of you have never taken a live course. So let's see, the majority of you it's pretty equal. Question number 1. A lot of you have a story in mind, but you're interested in possibly creating a new story. It's equal about a lot of you have no story in mind, and a lot of you have one, you want to work on it. So that's good information for me to know, and all of those situations are fine. Okay, no further ado. Thank you so much, Erica, for waiting patiently. Let me introduce our guests today. Erica Root is a busy illustrator who is represented by Lilla Rogers Studio, has been since 2019, after I fell in love with her work in the courses, my classes at Make Art That Sells. Erica's first book, which is a nonfiction illustrated arty book, is this, A Year of Weeks, and it completely reflects her style, her love of organizing and teaching and motivating in her cool style with loads of lettering. It's a guided journal that offers prompts to help readers to enrich their lives. Was published in 2021. She actually wrote her first illustrated authored book in class when we were beta testing the course with the agency. And as you see, it was picked up and published in April of this year.
April of last year.
Yeah, I know. So that's 2020. Yeah, of last year. And she's written another book that we as an agency are pitching around, and I love it.
April of this year. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think it was this year. I feel like it was March.
Kim says
it was March. I think I just got confused. It seems like a long time.
I know. I feel like it was last year, but
it was this year.
It says April 2023. Whatever. Okay.
Well, it was
on to her next book, so that feels like old. So Erica, welcome. I'm so glad to have you. So many of you so many of the followers know Erica so well. You've seen her in class, so you're with your people. First of all, everybody always wants to know, how do you get ideas for your books? Like, how did you get your ideas? How do you get ideas? Do you get too many ideas?
I get too many ideas. So I've had to create sort of like a system where I use, it's an app called Monday, and I use the free version, but it has like these sections that you can really organize ideas. So I have a section for kids books, a sections for just like portfolio pieces I want to create, sections for toys, for products. Like I have and anytime I get an idea, like it can be the dumbest idea in the whole world, but something in my mind is thinking that could be, somehow I feel like that could be a story. So I'll just jot it down, because if I don't, it's gone. Like I will never
Sure.
think of it again. So when I, and then when I'm ready to create something and I feel like I have zero ideas, I'll just go to my list and be like, some of them I'm like, what the heck was I thinking? I have no idea what that means. Like,
That
what?
is so
A
true.
shoelace and like a pig? What? But like, but for the most part, like there's a lot of ideas in there that I can really build on. And it's a great way for me to just kind of like hone in on something that could be an idea and build off of it.
How many of you feel like that? Like you have sometimes this, you crawl in bed, you have an idea, 3 in the morning, an idea, you're walking down the street, just have so many. Yeah, it's typical for the creative person. And what's so cool is, Erica, you figured out a system. So the app is called Mondays.
Monday.
Monday. So
And there's a desktop version and like a app for the phone, and they sync up. So it's great. Like I can go in, like sometimes on the computer, I'll go in and put more detail because there's a note section. You can categorize everything. Like I have in progress, need work, stumped, so you can categorize everything. It's great. It's a really good one.
oh, that's wonderful. That's great. So my next question is, what did you like about making your books? What the process? What do you enjoy in the process itself?
I
Whether
enjoy putting myself into the book, like really just jumping in. Like when it came to a year of weeks, it was really like, what do I want? Like what would I want to do? Um, and that's where it came from, because I want to put things out that I want to do, or else no one's going to believe that it's fun. Do you know what I mean? Like no one's going to be
Oh,
convinced that it's a good idea if I didn't put myself into it and I didn't enjoy making it, because you can always tell. So that was what I enjoyed with that one a lot, is just getting the freedom to decide what's in that book and like what people might want to try and what I would want to try. So some things I haven't done in the book and I'm like, I want to do that. So it was just like a joy to create it. And then with the kids' books, it's just putting myself in a place where I'm a child and I want to know, um, what does the rug look like? What does the cat look like? What's on the table? Like really being curious and not just letting like the text decide entirely what I'm going to draw, because I want to put details in there that are exciting for me to draw and exciting for hopefully other people to look at.
so great. The expressions of your child are incredible. Good job. Did your editor help you with your books? In what way did the editors help you structure or
Yeah, so it for a year of weeks, I felt so new and so confused because it was my first book. So I needed a lot of guidance. And initially I was terrified to go to them and be like, help, because I didn't want to come off like I was this like newbie who didn't know what was going on. So I definitely initially and usually headed to Google, like, what is trim? What is bleed? What is this? What is like figuring out like all the things that I'm like panicked about. Um, and if I was really stumped, like finally I had to go back to them with a couple questions and they weren't like, hey, dummy, you don't know this. Like it was like, oh, I'm I'm allowed to have questions. And the fact that I went to them, I think they also know I want it to be right. And they appreciate that because obviously they also want it to be right. So yeah, they really helped a lot. And like depending on the book, like the Close to You from Far Away, which I authored and illustrated, I had a lot more freedom with that one. as opposed to The Teachers I Loved Best, where I was really trying to create the vision that the author had for the book. So it just depends, I think, on the project, how much freedom you have and how much guidance from the art director.
I'm so glad you brought up that point about asking dumb questions. I remember when I was an illustrator starting out. Yeah, I don't want anybody to know I'm just like starting out. They know. Okay. They know. They know that you haven't published a million books. They know that it's your first. And they're there, like everyone knows, and yet they still hired you and they expect that you'll ask questions. So I want everybody to feel really reassured about that. That's such a good answer. Okay. A common question people ask, how long did you have to write your books? Or
Um,
illustrate and write?
so I think my first two, close to you in a year of weeks, I don't know that they were typical because it was all like mid-COVID. So they got really stretched out. So though, I mean, like, I feel like a year of weeks was well over a year because it just took so long. Yeah, it was just like, the timing was really hard. Like people weren't even in the office and it was
Right.
difficult. We got started a little bit late because of that too.
Yeah.
But Close to You from Far Away, I feel like it was about, I want to say
Maybe
maybe 8 months for that one. Um, and The Teachers I Love Best was a little bit shorter than that. So I probably 6 to 8 with that one. But I haven't yet, and I know it'll come, the pressure of like a real time crunch. But I think that's also due to the fact that like I have realized, as much as I thought I was this like flighty little butterfly that doesn't need like a schedule or like a calendar, no, I really, I really do. So I've been, in my personal life, I'm definitely not as strict with scheduling and putting things into a calendar, but when it comes to like jobs, I know that if I'm going to be successful, I have to. So I think that even if I have a tight deadline in the future, I think it's going to be okay as long as I do my strict schedule. I have calendars like on my wall, giant calendar pages when I have like a book, because I need to know when the deadlines are and when they need the roughs and all of that. So scheduling is a big one.
Organization is the secret of life for creative people. We've got our ideas, we need our structure, and structure is completely learnable and figure outable and doable. Kim, do you know how many months Erica had for Close to from Far Away? Maybe you can look that up in our database. Okay. Do you work digitally, Procreate, traditionally? How do you work?
I always start on paper. I just need that like tangible, organic connection to the book. I mean, that sounds weird, but I just need to have that like hands-on. It just makes it feel more authentic for me. And then I'll take my sketches and put them into Procreate and really build them out from there.
Yeah. And then you work on the painting part in Procreate.
Yeah, everything beyond like the initial sketch is pretty much in there.
Amazing. That's great. It's okay. Next question. What advice do you have for illustrators and authors speaking to this class, wanting to create their picture book, wanting to
One thing I say that I learned is don't be like, so it's kind of like two sides to the same coin, is don't be afraid to let go of an idea, because, and that's happened twice so far. So when I went into the beta testing of the course that you're talking about, I had this idea that I'd had for months and months, and if not years, like that I'm just like, I've got to get this book. It's like going to be great. Like I've been thinking about it forever. And I was ready. And then the night before the course, it was like COVID time. I think I want to say it was June of 2020. And I just got another idea of like, it just popped in my head of my son being with his grandma, and they were like on the opposite sides of the door as one another because they couldn't be together. And it was just like, and then thinking of this connection that I had with my grandma, and it just happened. Like it just sparked. And I realized at that moment, like, just because this idea has been with me for a really long time, it feels a little bit stale, and it feels a
Yeah.
little bit like I can let
Deadwood.
go. And if I want to come back later, like I have that option. Like I'm
Mhm.
free to do that. But right now, this feels good to me. And that's what I have to go. And I did the same thing with the Artie book pitch. I went through the entire thing and I was like, with an idea, and I'm going with it. And it's not a bad idea, but it just there was something
Oh,
that
yeah.
wasn't connecting. And then as soon as I got done with that idea, another one came and I'm like, no, this is it. Like I feel excited. I couldn't sleep. Like when it feels right. And like I said, the opposite side of that is sometimes you have to push really far to find out if that's true or not. Like sometimes you might just be a little frustrated or a little,
Right.
stumped for where to go next. That doesn't necessarily mean you should drop it, but if you're not enthusiastic about the initial concept, it might be time to move on.
That's so well put. You're exactly right. Like there's a time to not give up and push through. And it's unknowable. It's very difficult, but
It's difficult for sure, but I just feel like you have to, if you have that spark,
excited.
it feels right.
And know how to keep yourself excited and keep
Mhm.
fueling your excitement in a project for sure. Oh, that's so useful. Um, okay, let's see. What So that's great advice. Yeah, and sometimes an old idea, you're like, well, I've been telling everybody I'm gonna write this stupid
Yeah.
book. And then if I say I'm writing a different book, they'll be like, well, what about the book you told us all about forever? Okay, whatever. They're not the writers. It's not their career, it's your career. You can
Mhm.
dump a book that's like just hanging on you, dead wood. You're so tired of thinking about it. It's fun to sometimes just start fresh. And in the course, the first whole week is about coming up with an idea. And I give you a whole deck of magic cards that you actually print out. Um, and those of you who have taken the course a few times, you can throw all the decks together. So, oh yeah, do you know the ending? Oh, put your questions in the Q&A, people, by the way, because I can't always see your questions in the chat as I'm speaking with Erica. So Erica,
Yes.
what surprised you about oh, was that the one? Oh no, about the My Kid Book course, about storyboarding and yeah.
So, like I said, I always imagine that I'm this like awesome person that doesn't need structure. And like, if I have an idea, like, yes, my idea is great. That's it. We're going to go with it. But when we were doing the beta testing for it, we did the storyboard and we, drew out all of our little images, like the little sketches, along with the manuscript divided up kind of into sections. And you had said, try cutting them out and moving them around. And I'm thinking, like, well, Lilla's really smart, but like, I know my story and I know like it's fine. Like, I like it where it is. And then I did it and I started shifting things around. And I'm like, wait a minute, this page really, really works better before this other page. Like, it's just a whole, like, you think that you have something right until you realize that it was wrong. And like, you don't realize that until you try the methods that someone might suggest to you that knows more than you. So that was like a big, like, oh, I still need like this guidance.
Well, and I don't know everything. I know a ton. I've been in the art biz for 40 years, 48 years. And, it's I don't know everything. I know a lot. And when I teach you, take what you like and leave the rest. You know, that worked for Erica this particular time, but maybe it's not for everybody. But I do think it's a cool idea. You know why too? Because if you've cut everything out, it's really easy to move them. Whereas if it's on a piece of paper, you're like, oh, I have to erase it and redraw, and it's just more fluid. And
It's also really hard to visualize that move. So if you're doing it and you have to erase and redo it on that, like you can't really see like, wait, where do I want to move it? But when you're actually shifting them like pieces, then it makes it a lot more like fluid, where all of a sudden you realize that something worked that you didn't think necessarily was going to.
I love that. So cool. Okay, be sure you're putting your questions in the Q&A, people. So anything else you care to share?
I guess like for advice for children's books is like forget everything you know about being an adult. Like you're no longer a grown up, like except for the bills. Like sorry, you have to do that still. But like when I think about it, it's like if I'm walking to get my mail from the mailbox, like to me, it's nothing. To me, it's like, oh, I'm thinking about the bills in the mailbox. I'm thinking about like my schedule and my son's doctor's appointment and my daughter's graduation. But like if I'm walking with a child, they see a butterfly and they're like, where does a butterfly sleep? Or they see a puddle and they're like, how long does that puddle stay there? Is it permanent? Is it now a lake? And they have this whole world. They see clouds in the sky and think that they see like animals and creatures. And it's just like that newness. If you hold on to that really like fresh newness of the world around you, like honestly, anything can be a book. Anything can be a book. Where do butterflies sleep? The shapes in the clouds, like anything can be a book. And you just have to really like forget about being a grown-up, which is really fun too.
I love that, Erica. That's such good advice. Wow, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. You're
you.
welcome to hang out while I do the magic card exercise. Would
Okay,
you care to join us and chime in, and you can look at the chat and
sure.
you can call out stuff and help people. So as I said, the um oh, and on the blog of Make Art That Sells, who Becky says, I want to know where butterflies sleep now.
Me too.
Yeah, it's so true. Everything is a book. It's like, I feel like, yeah. Okay. So on the blog, you'll get sample magic cards. Oh, did Becky or Jenny, did we say there's, if they sign up now, is there anything they can do to work on this weekend? I guess the blog, they can get their magic cards. There's, I think, 4 of them, and the assignment. The prep on the blog. Okay, that's great. So that will get you going. So I've picked 5 cards today, and we're gonna do a little practice, which you will be doing on Monday. You will get all this download. It's like, I don't know, you get like 5 to 10 pages a day, each on a Monday or a Wednesday. Some of the pages have a lot of pictures, so don't worry. It's not a lot of, it's not bad. And it's a lot of filling in blanks and questionnaires. And I'm with Erica. Like, I had to have a blast writing this course. Yet in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, how can it teach people what they need to know? And the main thing that illustrators need to understand is, yeah, I know you want to write that beautiful story, and you can picture the beautiful candy mountains and the purple clouds and the clothes of every, but you have to tell a story that's a miniature movie, a miniature novel. So that's what we're going to do with the card. So I'm going to show you this card, and you're going to tell me the name of this, whatever the heck this is. So type it into the chat what this is. Give it a name. Just give it any name. I don't care. Wilbur, Bloopy, Walter.
I
Oh,
thought Walter too.
you did? And the hilarious part of Walter is it goes against type. We've talked about this before. Like, you might think his name or her name is Smiley or something, but when you give it a name against type, it's kind of amusing if that's what you're going for. Melody Pink, Handy Andy, Watermelon Belly, Wally, Wanda, Melvin, Wilhelmina. That's great. So
Wedgie.
what is it?
Wedgie.
Wedgie. Yeah, kind of looks like it. Now tell me the personality of this. Write in a few adjectives or a little sentence of, and help me, Erica, find what they say. Happy-go-lucky, carefree.
Blushes easily. I like that one.
Shy, extrovert, eager, cheerful but clumsy. I can see that.
That's what I thought. I was thinking like super clumsy, but like really ambitious.
But ambitious, like a go-getter.
Yeah, but really clumsy.
Like, and what kind of job does this thing have? Great dancer. funny. Is Greg here?
I know. Where's
I
Greg?
know. Loves hugs, but doesn't always know when they're appropriate. Ginger, I love that. Accountant, pizza cutter, candy maker, runs a fruit stand, air traffic controller. I'm dying. That is so good.
A comedian.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Maths teacher, pilot. It's so great. Okay, that's what you do. That's what we're going to do to warm up in the first week, first day. So this is the sidekick. This is the sidekick. This is the sidekick. So give it a name, or her, they, them, he, she.
Bitsy, that's cute.
Oh, I like that too. Mixie, Tessa, Snappy. And what does this character? Good heavens, I have that from my childhood, says Tessa. Pula, Madge. Oh my God. Okay, so this is the sidekick of this one. And how do they know each other? How do they know each other? How do they know each other? From school. They went to baking school together, next door
She
neighbors.
tried to eat him.
Square. She grew him. Read some, Erica. They go so fast.
Met at Pizza Hut.
Swim lessons, so random. So you see, everybody's so creative, right?
Mhm.
I knew writing this, like, Illustrator, I mean, it wasn't like a new idea that illustrators could write books, but I just felt that my students could do that. Okay, now we need a location. So this is where it takes place. Port of Long Beach, California. But you don't have to be literal. There's a ship, there's water. It could be, so I want you to riff off these cards, like maybe it takes place on a ship, but where on the ship? Or is it by the poolside, or are they cruise cooking
Cooking,
classes?
yeah, that's good.
Exactly. Or maybe it's not about the ship, or California's about the water.
Stowaways.
Was that
They're
still
stowaways.
dance floor converted into a hotel, farmer's market at the shore? Oh, don't you love this? Isn't this the
Yeah.
coolest? So great. Okay, then every story needs a conflict of some kind and a resolution, but we're starting with the conflict. And this is the conflict. It says, get well wishes. These are all stuff from my collection, by the way. I have a lot of weird things. So what is the conflict? Get well wishes. Oh, everybody, all the seeds went missing. The melon dries out from the sun.
Hiccups that won't go away.
Alert allergy to melons. He is the showman. She's the leader of cooking flowers. A misunderstanding that she was sick.
Too many cocktails.
God. Millie gets sick and can't cook for the beach party. Absolutely. That's a really good. So that's a conflict. I find these cards really fun, but really hard too, in a way. But it's getting you going. And you can pick 5 cards, fill out the form that is just like me guiding you through. Do another 5 cards and skip hard ones, or play around. It's getting the wheels turning. So now we need a resolution. So let's pick one of the problems. I found this one really hard. Let's see. He can't find his, let's see. Erica, which one should I do?
I'm looking.
No. What would you do?
There's seasickness.
Let's pick a different problem. How about that? I'm gonna cheat. I can. No, we'll stay with that. Okay. Can't find the right swimsuit. Okay.
I
Love
like that one.
Can't find the right swimsuit. Beautiful. So get well wishes isn't literal, but it can be, there's some sort of unhappiness. Okay. It's your story, you can take my cards and do anything you want. And the resolution, every story has an arc. We meet the characters, and it's all about finding a bathing suit for some event or whatever. And the two are looking, and it's a problem. And then how does it, the thong doesn't fit right. He doesn't know how to talk to people who have lost something or sad, and a sidekick had out some sunburn. Okay, this is the solution. See this car, this vintage car by the seaside, actually. Road trip. So the bathing suit, maybe they just go and buy a bathing suit. They went on it, decide to go to the mall, take a Sunday drive, heals everything, shopping excursions, find a suit in the trunk of the car. That's great. So, that's getting you used to an arc in a story with these crazy cards. You will then go in and look at some of your favorite books and map out arcs of other books and the characters. One of the things we're going to spend a lot of time on is getting to know your character well, and then developing we're taking several weeks to develop all this, so don't worry, this is just a warm-up. Okay. So I'm going to go really quickly over some tips I just really wanted to share with you on writing your picture book. Every illustrator, as I said, can picture all the beauty, but you need a strong story. And one of the things that illustrators like to do is they like to write visual descriptions, right, Erica? Like the fluffy brown cat with big pink ears. Do not write anything that you can draw, that can be shown in the illustration. So you remove visual descriptions, and you can write it out, but then cross them off and see what else. One of the main things that you can write that your illustration cannot do is dialogue. You can't draw you can do balloons with the dialogue in it. I don't mean that, but visually we're not seeing a picture of the fluffy big ears. So dialogue is your best friend in writing these books. Did you find that to be true with your stories?
I found it to be really difficult to take away the description. Like I did have to take it and scratch a lot out because it was a challenge, because I think that like flowery writing is really like fun for creatives, and to kind of strip it back a little bit was definitely tricky.
But yeah, did your editor have anything to say about it too, to help you edit it out, or?
A little bit, not much. Like I said, like I feel like I had a ton of freedom. I mean, Running Press is great. They're just awesome. I mean, they really gave me a lot of freedom, but
and they trust
I don't think it's always going to be that way.
Right. And they trust you, and they're good. Okay, revisit feeling words. Remove them and show us why your character feels emotion. Don't tell us how they felt. So don't say she felt sad. I mean, there are times you will break these rules, okay? But generally, an editor is going to look to see that you're not telling us what the character feels. You're showing. They want to see, not she felt sad, she was angry, or instead of saying she was excited, you say show her baking a cake for grandma and decorating it and putting time and attention into it, showing she's excited, showing she cares about grandma. Do you want to speak to that, Erica?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's all really true. And I think that there's a balance of like trying to find what to write and what to draw. But I also found that like stripping those things all away and then drawing it as if those words were never going to be there. And then like if you want to pepper them back in, like just periodically, so it's not like so heavy on the descriptors, but you can still like, it just allows you to really like pretend this wasn't here, would I still know what was going on by the picture? And would it give me a full idea of what is happening in the story? And then if the writing like really sounds bland, like, you know, too bland, I mean, yeah, those can be peppered back in, but too much is too much.
Yeah, and when you do write it out, that's great. Those are what I call stage direction. Now you know what to put in the illustration. Yeah, she was wearing a pink apron with 5 pockets, and she had all these cake decorating things in front of her. But you put that, now you know what to draw in the picture. Jocelyn, CD can never find the right swimsuit. Illustrator can show all the absolutely wrong swimsuits.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah. And showing CD in all those. Okay. Another thing to remember is keep the story moving in chronological order. These are children. They are 1 to 5 years old, typically 2 to 3 years old. It's bedtime. They're tired. So you don't say she will eat an apple and yesterday she saw a cat. No, I know you're not going to say that. But you know, I have seen sometimes people writing where she really she wants to learn how to fly because last year she got on a plane and said, Mom, I'd like to learn to fly. No, keep it. Editors want to see that you go in chronological order. It's a rule that could be broken as long as you understand what you're doing. Let's see. Just for fun, rewrite your text in the present tense. Try dialogue. So instead of Carmi was going to buy a vintage toy today, you can just have, can I see that vintage game? Carmi asked the salesperson. See how it brings it more to life and it's in the present moment. Big rule, remove adverbs, slowly, calmly, hurriedly, smugly, things that end in ly, suddenly. Again, show, don't tell. So Erica doesn't say, she doesn't say grandma was excited. She says, as always, grandma replied, don't worry, Gigi, it's okay. I'm close to you from far away. And we can see it's not like grandma lovingly and happily and excitedly said, okay? Erica doesn't say that. Let's find another. This is so great to you. Oh my God, you believe this picture? Look at this.
That's one of my favorites.
Oh my God, a little backpack. Oh my God, I'm dying. This is so good. So all the text is, and her science room had lots of neat things to see and do. And then she shows all the neat things to see and do. Let's see if there's another. Yeah. So here you are telling. So it's okay to tell sometimes. Gigi and Grandma always loved being together. And here they are. Okay. But she goes further with the illustration and has them painting rocks. So she doesn't say they loved painting rocks together. She illustrates them doing an activity of being together. So remember, don't say, well, Lilla says we can never, show her to. Don't forget the Lilla always says. There's no Lilla always says. All right. And my last tip before we do a giveaway is, oh, and I said I'd pop somebody up on the screen. I guess we have time. Is it a must as an illustrator do hand lettering? No, and I'm going to answer Q&As. Consider removing or changing dialogue tags to said. This is a common thing that's happening in writing now. More and more editors don't want to hear he said angrily. Joe threw the pie the blah blah. He said angrily, or he angrily threw. Or I would like a glass of water. He said thirstily. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something. So it's just spinach makes me grouchy, he said. Just he said. It's less cumbersome. It's easier to read. It flows. This is the thinking right now. So now I am going to let's answer some of the questions together, Erica. Okay. God, I love having you here. I'm gonna have to do this more often with an actual hotshot illustrator helping me
I'm
out.
not an illustrator.
You are, you are. Okay. Can you see the Q and A's?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Okay. You want to see any you want to answer? Or should we just start at the first one and go? Start with the Susan Box one.
Okay.
you-
Do you get asked to convert that one, the converting? Do you get asked to convert your Procreate files with Photoshop later? I'm aware that Procreate has weaknesses with its CMYK profile, but I haven't delved into Photoshop. So yeah, I did have actually some issues between the Procreate and Photoshop, because I did have to convert some images. It all ended up working out. I did a ton of research on Google. Honestly, right now, I can't even remember what it was, but it was something to do with transferring one to the other. It acts a little bit funny, and like CMYK doesn't work the same in Procreate as it does Photoshop. So there's ways around it. So yeah, I did have issues. You just have to make sure you also have to Google it, because unfortunately, I don't remember what I did, but there were issues.
Yeah. Oh, that's good information. And again, you Googled, you could probably ask your client too. Kim says, I think it's better to do RGB and Procreate and then convert to
Convert in,
Photoshop. And you know
think
what,
that's
that's
right.
a great question for the private Facebook group in the course. The people there will have answers to all your technical questions. 100%. Am I right?
Yeah, for sure. The groups are amazing. They're amazing.
They know everything. Okay. How about Camila? Do you know the ending of the book when you start, Erica?
That's a good one, because it can be tricky. With Close to You from Far Away, it just felt like I knew. I think it just, for some reason, that book really just like clicked with me. Like it just made sense. And I think that I know the idea and the general end of the book. I don't know exactly who's going to say what to who and how it's going to like really progress specifically, but I know the concept and the kind of way I want it to end. And then it's just really a matter of like, I guess that's more advice too, is write the story and then read it and then rewrite it and then read it and then change it and then read it again and then redo it. Like there is so, it's never just like, okay, I'm done, because I'm telling you, there's more edits to be made. Like there's so much opportunity to make it better. And that's really like the ending is so hard. So that's like where a lot of the editing comes in.
And the cool part of editing is you're perfecting, you're tweaking. Do you ever style your table when you have company, you make it all pretty, and then you're like, oh yeah, I could put down that vintage napkin there. Oh yeah, let me go outside and cut some flowers. Like think of it as perfecting and making it even better. Editing can be really, really fun. Okay. Jocelyn has a question for you, Erica.
When you were the author and illustrator, did you need to use Photoshop for adding text, or was using Procreate enough? I actually just needed to leave space for the text. I didn't have to actually put it in there. That was all done by the editor and art director.
Mhm.
So I just had, I mean, like I knew what the text was and on what page it would be and the space that I needed to leave for it, but I didn't have to put it in myself.
And this is a font. This isn't your hand lettering.
Right. This one, A Year of Weeks, was a little different. Like I was a little bit nuts. I don't know why I didn't create a font. Like this one is all just like hand lettering. And I feel really bad. Like I would like to really give the editor flowers, because that's a tough job. There's no spell check on hand lettering. So that was a little bit different. That was all done by hand in Procreate.
You're a beast. You're amazing. Okay, Nancy. For those of us who don't have a contract with a publisher, what size should we make our illustrations as we prepare to send out picture book dummies?
I guess, I mean, I would do it like a common size of picture book. So you can, I mean, there's different sizes, but like, I guess, what is it, like 8 by 10, one of those. But then when you create it, do a high DPI, like a 300 DPI or something, and then just reduce the file size when you send it. That way you're not like jamming up their inboxes or whatever. But you can, I would always create it in a high resolution, a high DPI, because you can't like increase it later. You can always decrease it to send.
Right. And every assignment I give you the specifications. And then you that's the size you work in, that's your pitch. So let's see. Are you working exclusively on books, or do you do other illustration jobs? I will tell you, she's done so many different things. You want to say a few of them?
I did some editorial. There was
Cards.
another book that just took, it was a licensing one. It took some images that I had done and put it into a book of a lot of other people's art as well. Calendar. So yeah, other things also aside from just the books.
Yeah. Calendars and greeting cards and all kinds of things. Okay. How many times a year is this course offered? Sarah asks. Once. And this is the time it starts Monday, just this one time. And how many students are in the class? I would say between 200 and 400. Is that right, Becky? Something like that. Like maybe 300 to 400, something like that. It doesn't feel, it feels sort of intimate, I would say, because of the Facebook group and because I see you every Monday and Wednesday. Yeah, there are 3 lives per week. It's amazing, Kashani. And you don't need to be there. Don't worry. They're all recorded, but they're really fun and you'll really love them. They're motivating and we have a chat. It's not dissimilar to this. Arvilla, how does diversity and representation work within the choices you make? You can't make everyone happy, but how do you try to be inclusive as an illustrator? And I know this is something that's always been incredibly important to you from the very beginning. You did this several years ago,
Yeah.
and you see you have different skin colors on the people on the cover even.
Yeah, it's really important. Like, I just feel like I never want someone to look at a book. And I mean, again, like you said, you can't make everybody happy all the time, but I feel like an overarching responsibility almost, or like passion to have someone never feel unrepresented, like to look at a book and feel like, this
For me,
illustrator never does anything that feels like I'm represented in it. Like, I just want everyone to feel like they have a place. And if I can contribute to that a little tiny bit, like, it makes me really proud and really happy to do it.
well, it's beautifully put. Okay. Pau asks, who inspires you?
Oh, that's a good one. So, I mean, I think I'm going to go a little untraditional with this. So I love a lot of famous artists and illustrators, but I think that like, especially like since I started Mats, like most of my inspiration comes from working with other people, and that's like the Facebook groups and like the other artists with Lilla. Like, I just feel like there's just something to be said about working together and really sharing an experience together where you're all working like in these courses a lot of the times, like, we're working on the same, we've all been given the same prompt to do, but the way in which we all do it is so vastly different that I catch like so much inspiration, like the waves are just like hitting me, like whether I mean for them to or not, and that's just like, that blows me away. It feels great, and the inspiration is definitely there.
I'm so excited for the course. All this talking about it gets me so pumped too. Let's see. For a younger child, Marmalade Mud Pie asks, do you use fewer words than with an older child?
Yeah, you have to go with like the age range that you're targeting. So, I mean, clearly like a little toddler isn't going to be down with like full on paragraphs because that's just boring. So you just have to kind of like know your audience and what they're capable of taking in.
And one of the ways you learn that is by looking at lots of picture books. Go to the
Yeah.
library, go to a bookstore if you don't already own a million, and look through them. Lana asks, what style is more popular, with outlines or without, flat or with shadows? There is no need to think about what is popular. Anything is, it's what you are excited about drawing, and then you present that, even if you don't see a lot of it, but you love it and you do it beautifully. That's, as long as you're making a character that has appeal in a setting we can understand. There's so many different ways to draw. These are books by 2 of my artists. that they've written and illustrated. It's by Katie Vernon.
Oh, I love that one.
And her, yeah, her style is really loose and nutty. But let me show you like more of a, like this is sort of a little bit looser style. And then this is Erin Vanessa. She's on, I think, her third book that she's author illustrated. And this is her style. So, you know, whatever, and that's just 3. There's a billion different looks. Here's some more. Ooh. These are illustrated by my artists. This is very painterly, very soft. This is Kendra Binney. Whoa.
It's pretty.
Not pretty. And this is by Osa Galand. And let me just look at these. She's got
Our kids are so good. She's so good.
She's so good. And she has all these scenes and everything. There's just a billion ways. There's no rules. So don't worry. You don't worry what, there's no trend either. Like there's so many different styles happening today. I wouldn't say there's a particular medium that everybody's using. And even if they were, come up with a new medium that you want to use. Just do what's exciting to you. I hope that helps. Whoever asked that. Okay. Thank you, Greg. Greg says, "Dear Erica, how is it? You're so cool."
Well, you know, it took years and years of honing this like skill. No, thank you, Greg. I love you so much.
I know Greg is great. Greg is in my year. He's in all the classes for this year. And he's so warm, and he also is really helpful and hilarious. So he's always fun to have in class. Okay, let's see. And then will you be upset if I don't pop up somebody on a one-on-one, people? How do you feel? Or do you want to do that? Chatters? You will be upset, Charlene? Won't be upset. Okay, good.
We'll
'Cause I'd
recover.
rather answer the questions and do the giveaway. Papa Greg. Oh, he says, if you're thinking of signing up, do it by Erica. Do you have to leave?
Yeah, I have a 1 o'clock with my son's school, but
Oh, okay. Okay, so let's see if there's one more question she can answer. Did you start off as a writer or illustrator? You started off as an illustrator. Aileen says, I'm a student graduating with a BA in illustration. How do I start out finding illustration work? Do I have to find an agent first? You want to answer that one? I know it's a huge question.
I mean, yeah, that's a big one. I mean,
Yeah.
I got really, really lucky. Like I just really got lucky. I took the plunge and took the courses, and I didn't even know it was an option for Lilla to find me. Like, so when it comes to like what what normal people do, I don't know. I feel really bad. I don't know.
One of the ways is take my courses or anyone's courses that are practical, commercial, especially if your art school didn't provide that. And then you send them around to people in that market, like picture book publishers and so forth, or you get scooped up in my class. Well, Erica, thank you. We're going to do the giveaway right after I say goodbye to Erica, but thank you, Erica, so much. You made this so fun.
Oh, thank
oh
you.
my
This
God,
was fun.
this
I will
was
admit to everyone here, I was very nervous. I've never done one of these before. Lilla
Yeah.
knows I was like watching 700 TED Talks on how not to like embarrass yourself. And I think they paid off. So if I embarrass myself, just humor me.
You know what? As you see, everybody saying thank you. You did fantastically. This was so great. And I loved that they heard from an illustrator, although I was, but some time ago, but a contemporary illustrator working on authoring and illustrating picture books today. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll let
All
you go to your
right.
class thing. Thank you,
Okay.
Erica.
Thanks. Bye, everybody. Thank
We
you.
should have her back, shouldn't we, in class? We should have her back. That would be so cool. Okay, so what we're going to do is, let's see. Yes, Malika, this will all be recorded. You can watch from the beginning. Please, I remind you, sign up now. Get the worksheet on the blog. Be ready to hit the ground running Monday, where you get for class starts Monday, where you will get your first section of the workbook, all 123 pages over 4 weeks. And I can't wait. They want me to tell you there's a children's book bundle that includes Kid Book Pitch, this course, the writing course, and it includes drawing faces, which I created to help you draw faces, especially for children, and illustrating children's books, which comes out in October, and that is for illustrating children's books. So all that is a bundle, and you save 25% off. It is already applied in the shop, so you can do that. Okay, so now, Kim, are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, so who has done one of these competitions before, in these little guessing games? Type me if you've done it before, and type not me if you haven't done one yet. Okay, so I'll explain the rules. I'm going to give a little clue. You can guess as often as you want. And the same, you guess as often as you want. And the winner who guesses the correct answer will win the course. If you've already won the course, you can gift it to a friend. There's no cash value refund kind of thing. And also, Kim and I will look very diligently, but we have a lot of people here, and we may not see the first person who answered correctly. So it's just the one we see first. And you get what you get, and you don't get upset, and we'll do our very best to try, but that's all. That's my caveat. Okay, so the question is, guess a verb like run, fly, or dance. Go.
Oh, too fast.
Oh my God.
Oh, geez.
I'm not seeing it though. That's good. I like to do a sort of hard one. It'll slow down and start getting more like odd ones.
It seems like it's going
So many
faster.
verbs in the world. Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
my goodness. Okay, I think you need to slow them down, Lilla. Slow them down.
It starts with an S. Oh, saw it.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
shoot.
I didn't.
Oh my God. How does the brain process that? Let me see. I'm scrolling up. Okay, Katie Stack, spy. The correct answer is spy, like to spy on something. Yay, Katie Stack. Yay, Katie. Yay. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so grateful to all of you showing up today. I really appreciate it. This has been great. And if you missed the beginning, we went over a lot of practical tips, writing tips, information about the course. You can read all about the course on the website, makeartthatsells.com. Oh, it was helpful. Good. And that crazy game, those cards are nuts, but you all came up with some really, really interesting things. And I'm as your teacher, I'm incredibly excited to teach this class. You fuel me, you excite me to see what you come up with. And I'm supportive of everybody. It's a very supportive setting. No one is criticized. It's a safe space. I know it's very vulnerable to write your work and to put it out there. I get that. And we only work in a supportive setting. The Facebook group is incredibly supportive, as well as your fellow students in the chat can attest to. And the course works. If you work the course, if you set the time aside and do the workbook, it's very effective. And we've gotten quite a few books out of the course. So in my agency alone. So there you go. Okay, people, thank you. Oh, I'm glad you learned a lot, Shun. Good. Thank you, thank you. I will see hopefully a lot of you Monday. And I have Q&A each week as well. You can submit written questions and I answer all of them. Sometimes I will write the answers on a doc, or sometimes I will actually do a little audio. If there are a lot of questions, I will talk it through, and that makes it easier for you to process and listen to. A lot of content, a lot for you to learn and look at. And I'm sure you're going to have a really good time. Okay, I will see you Monday. Don't forget to sign up right now. Go right now to Make Art That Sells on the course tab and pull up my kid book pitch. Sign up now, and I will see you in class Monday. Take care. Bye.